Welcome back to Opinion Journal Live, where we're going to the Middle East and the ongoing conflict in Syria. So why is the U.S. so reluctant to intervene in this very, very bloody civil war? Joining us now to discuss is Global View columnist Bret Stephens. Bret, welcome.
Good to be here.
So, Bret, why is it that the U.S. is so hesitant to intervene in Syria?
It apparently has to do with the most important national interest that we have, which is the re-election of President Obama. That is to say that the administration has made it perfectly clear that it is not going to do anything vis-a-vis Syria until November 6th or sometime afterwards. So this is a sort of as naked an exposure of the president's national security thinking as I think we've had so far. I mean, you have tens of thousands of people killed. You have reports of massive lawlessness in Syria. Syria is a country that could spin apart every bit as easily as Iraq might have. We have this interest in making sure that this Assad regime, an ally of Iran, does fall. So humanitarian and strategic interests align. Never mind, Mary, November is more important.
Okay, well, we're not going to act, but there are other players involved in Syria who will.
Oh, sure.
I'm thinking of Iran and Russia that recently got together to talk about the situation there. They don't want U.S. intervention either. Tell us a little bit about how they're influencing the situation.
Well, the Iranians have been helping the Assad regime deal with this uprising from the very beginning. You remember that Iran had its own aborted uprising in 2009 following the election there. They're providing revolutionary, the trained members of the Revolutionary Guards, spying equipment, various kinds of covert arms shipments and so on. Everything they can to shore up their most reliable and most intransigent ally in the Arab world. And most recently there was a visit from Iran's foreign minister with Bashar Assad to basically say that they were forming part of this what they call an axis of resistance, otherwise known as an axis of evil. No surprise there, to continue to put down the Syrian uprising. The Russians have their own interests. They had a naval base for many, many years during the Soviet period on the Syrian coast. Russian boats still make a visit there. They see Damascus, Moscow sees Damascus as not only their reliable client in the Arab world, but yet another thorn in the side of the West, a thorn in the side of the United States itself. So here, once again, you're starting to see a picture of a kind of anti-American axis coalescing with no response from the Obama administration.
Well, there is a response, Bret. Hillary Clinton gets up, it seems, almost every week and says, hey guys, you got to stop that killing. The United States really doesn't like it, wagging the finger. What do those statements that aren't backed up by action do to U.S. prestige, not only in the Middle East, but in the rest of the world?
Well, it bleeds American credibility because there's just such a yawning gulf between what the Secretary of State is saying and then what the administration is doing. Now, we do know, thanks to this rather leaky administration, that some forms of covert activity are going to help the Free Syrian Army, the rebels there. Of course, it's no longer covert because somehow this administration, which likes to advertise all the cool things it's doing behind the scenes, needs to sort of open the curtain to let you see what those things are doing. But it's hard to see how effective that is. Right now we're at the very height of this battle for Aleppo, the most important city in Syria. The Syrian army is clearly making gains. It's very hard to tell from the outside just what the score is. But this is a key moment when the United States ought to be engaged, but again, we're not engaged. Why? Because President Obama has 1 million fundraisers to attend, and November 6th is the day he intends to get reelected. That's the point.
Okay, well, we're going to leave it with that for a moment. Global View columnist Bret Stephens on Syria.